Welcome to Cultivating Courage, a podcast exploring fear, courage, and stepping into a life filled with purpose, connection, and love. In today's episode, we're chatting with our guest Flora about letting the day-to-day and the ease of living in our comfort zone slow the journey towards what we really want. Welcome to another episode of Cultivating Courage. I'm your host, Kristen Robinson. I'm the founder of Thrive Coaching Studio. We do workshops and boot camps to help people explore their fears and step into their greatness. And as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Matt Maxwell.
Hi, I'm Matt Maxwell. I'm a professional coach. I help organizations and individuals joyfully create the success that they yearn for. And I am the founder of Hearthstone, which works with organizations to create businesses that people love to work in.
Yes, I love that. And today we have a guest. Welcome, Flora.
Hi, thanks for having me.
We are so excited to have you.
Yay.
I am going to turn the intro over to Matt.
Yeah, this is my friend Flora.
Yeah.
Flora is awesome. We met years ago doing improv together. And she is like heart and light and laughter and fun and like a dreamer and one of my best buds. So it's really great to have you here. Thanks, Flora.
That's awesome.
Thank you. That was a beautiful intro.
It was.
Heartfelt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Genuine. So in the spirit of kicking things off, what are you hoping to get out of our conversation today?
Oh, wow.
Wait, can we pause you first?
Of
You want to
course.
just tell us what you're up to?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what am I up to? Wow. Lots of things. So I'm just finishing a semester at Columbia. I teach in their fashion studies program. So the semester was a doozy. It was, I did a project where we actually created a scented brand. So for me, that was new. And so we, chose oil or, essential oils. Scented.
Like the brand has its own scent.
Yes, they chose their own scent, their logo, their branding, their messaging. It turned out beautiful. It's been a lot of work. It was a lot of work, but I loved it every minute. So I'm just finishing that next week, or this week is their project. So I love seeing things come to fruition and come to an end and start anew. Maybe a good summer, do some traveling. But I'm also looking to kind of get into a new career somewhat. I'm an educator, so it's going to be in that realm, but looking for that for my future.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Awesome. So what are you looking to get out of this conversation?
I don't know. I guess I love just talking and figuring things out as I go. And because Matt and I have had conversations before, especially about life and about love and the pursuit of happiness. I think I have, I've gone through something really tragic in my life recently, and it's kind of shifted things into new perspective. So my day-to-day is not, it's not the same as it was, but I still am the same person. And I think that the tragedy happened where I'm feeling somewhat like I shouldn't be sad because it'll affect everything for my future, but my heart is broken for what has happened. So I'm just looking to kind of just talk because I think it helps me. And no matter what the conversation is, I just love to express things because I learn from it as I go. And that's why I say day to day is different, but same. It's learning still. I'm a constant learner.
Yeah.
So that's what I hope to get.
Yeah.
Just learn something maybe new about myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would you say your biggest challenge is right now for you?
I think it's, I'm such a forward thinker that sometimes I forget about the present. So I'm trying to be more present, but I'm also worried that I look to my past and the things that have not gone so well and think that what's happening now is going to be affected by that because of my thoughts. So I necessarily don't want to put myself down because I feel confident, but then when I think things come in my head that are like, well, maybe I'm not as confident as I thought I was, or is this going to go how it used to be? But it's not, because it's now. So that kind of thing is what I guess I'm worried about it.
So what I'm hearing is you're worried about how the thoughts and the stories that you've got kind of running through your head might affect what you're trying to create.
Right. Because that's not me anymore. Right. And so I'm this, I want to say I'm this person who loves to be with people, but I want to be that person that people want to be around, and help them as much as I need help from, and it's almost like I need help from others, but I want to be the person that helps because I'm an educator. So I get fearful that I'm like, well, am I supposed to be an educator if I'm still thinking that I don't know certain things about life? And so that kind of scares me. So, but I don't know. But we're all just learning, right? We're still on that path. And so I don't know. It's a tough one.
You're looking at me, Kristen.
Yes.
Well, it sounds to me like we're kind of like a little bit talking in the hypothetical. Like, what do you want right now?
I want to live in the now, be present, be happy, and look forward to a future of creating my own family, because a part of my family is just broke. And for me to know that future looks bright is to know that I can create something beautiful. Not to, replace that family or life, just to add to it, because that person that, in a sense, broke my heart, wants that for me too.
So I hear today, right now, in your life, living peacefully and happily.
Yes.
And creating a future family.
Yes.
Or addition to your family.
Yes.
What does that look like?
Marriage and kids. And possibly a new place. It could be this city or not. I'm as you said, a dreamer and adventurer. And so wherever that is and wherever future takes me, career, if that, I want wherever I go to know that it's where that future that I want is going to be at. That marriage, kids, family. Almost like I want to start a new life because of what I've just went through. But like I said, I don't want to replace the life and I don't want to run away. I just want what I want.
And what is it that you want?
I want to settle and I want to be with someone and have a family and a career in the middle of that. So because I think I'm trying to change my career, so that's shifting along with trying to move forward. It's almost like I juggle and I struggle between all of these things. And all I want is, I guess, be happy. As everyone does. Choosing.
Mind blown.
Yeah, right? That's it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. But I am happy. And that's the thing. I guess maybe I worry too much. I think that what if it doesn't? And, I just want to be around people. It's another big thing right now. Like I said, day to day. At this moment, going through a Chicago winter it sucks. It's brutal. And with the tragedy that happened, it made it worse. And so I just want to be around people. That's it right now. But looking forward to my future.
This is awesome. This is awesome.
Yeah, right.
You're my friend, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So what I like is that I love how freely you declare what you want.
Oh, that's good.
It's awesome. I want to be happy now. I want to
Yeah.
live peacefully, right? I want to add to my family.
Mm-hmm.
I want these things in my career. it's pretty cool how you've created a vision that you see for yourself. And what I'm also present to is that also kind of flits around. And then it just becomes like, I just want to be happy now, which is also maybe true, right?
I think that happiness, I worry too much about that future that I want. So then I'm like, well, I can't forget to be happy.
Yeah.
Now.
Oh, right. Yeah. Because this is what'll happen. This is what'll happen.
Right.
This is what happens to me is that I go, well, what I really want is this amazing business. You know, what I'm up to is creating a business that works with other organizations to transform their culture and create a place that people love to work. Like, that's what I'm doing right now, right? And some days, it seems like in order to create all of that, I have to be miserable. Mm-hmm. It'll be a lot of hard work. It'll be exhausting. It'll be all these things. So I'm like, well, I want that. But I also just want to enjoy my life right now. And I can't have both. So I guess I'll just enjoy my life and forget about my dream.
Yeah.
Does that happen to you?
Well, yeah, because in a sense, this new career I need is also trying to make a business in a way.
Yeah.
You know, being an educator, but being in a different way that it's like taking a risk and start like your business.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's that struggle and balance.
Or like you want a family. And what's the next big step in that?
I don't know. What is it?
No, I'm just asking, what is it?
I don't know.
Well, it seems to me like it would be having a boyfriend.
Or going on a date, maybe.
Well, that's not, I wouldn't,
Yeah.
Depending on who you are, that there may not be a big step.
Right.
For some people, that might be a huge step.
Oh,
But
so
what
you're
we're looking
talking
at is,
like the
probably
step right
between
now.
you and children
Yes.
is finding a partner. Because I think that's
Yes.
part of your vision, right?
Yes.
Okay. So maybe this happens in your relationship world. I really want a partner, but dating. It sucks.
Such a hassle.
I have to meet people, and most of them are so lame.
Oh, you've had these
And it's no
conversations
fun.
before, haven't you? Oh my God.
Does it occur like that? Dating's such a, it's not happy.
I don't act like that,
Oh,
Matt.
No, you're not like that.
But
maybe for some people
he was
is.
imitating me.
Well, no, I don't know. I'm imitating me. The point is
You
that sometimes
love dating. Come on.
what seems to be in the way. I've just been outed.
Yeah, she's good. You can come on
Again,
any
Sorry.
time. What are you doing next week?
True,
I know
do
him
like
too
it.
well.
For some people, they don't like dating, and that's in their way of having a relationship. For me, it's that I really like dating. But anyway.
Focus.
Man, I just got outed. Okay, so what happens, and maybe happens a little bit with you, is I really want these things, but I also want to be happy now. And it seems like they're in contradiction.
That both can't happen.
That if I were to work towards those things, it would not be happy. And
But you're
so-
saying they don't have to be contradictory.
Well, I don't know.
Oh.
But we could work in the possibility that they're not. I don't know. Do you see anything there for you?
No, I don't. I guess I don't. Contradiction of being happy now, but wanting the future.
And taking the steps to
I guess I don't take the steps.
make that future happen.
Yeah,
So what's
that's what I'm
what's
curious
there?
about.
do.
That's
but
what I'm really curious about here is that
What-
is that it seems like your vision's actually pretty fleshed out.
Yes, it is,
You
isn't it?
basically know what you want.
Yeah.
So what is in the way?
Maybe just getting through the day and thinking of all the things I have to get done and not making the time to do the other things. I guess that's a big one.
Getting just like being stuck in the day to day.
Yeah. And then of course worried about where I'm living, you know, that's always changing. My job, like what that career looks like. So I have to focus on those things because that's what makes you money and that's what's paying your bills now and living and eating. And I like, I like nice things. I mean, I don't shop as much as I used to, let's say that, but do you know what I mean? It's that being comfortable with myself, being comfortable as not stepping out of that comfort zone, but yet I do that a lot in many ways, in many things. Because you know me, Matt. I mean, I met you in improv where that was a big step for me. So it's doing more of those things, but I feel like, wow, I've done so much of that. Why do I have to keep doing that? But I want to do the thing. I don't want to force myself to do something I don't enjoy.
Yeah.
So,
okay. So it's okay. So let's see if we can take stock where we're at. Clear vision for the future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty clear in terms of your career.
Yeah.
You have a pretty good idea educating people.
Finally.
Apparel, right? Yeah. And also family.
Yeah.
You have an idea of what you want that to look like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what's in the way is. What?
I don't know. Taking the steps. Is that what I'm not doing?
Well, the first thing that you distinguished was I get like real lost in the day to day. Every day is just like fight for survival.
Yes.
Present circumstances. How do I pay for this? How do I make this money? How do I
Yes.
get the next little thing? Living just in the day to day survival place.
Yes.
Okay, so that's part of it. And what else?
And learning how to be the person and be happy now, right? So it's doing the things I enjoy every day because that's what I'm comfortable with. That's what makes me happy.
That is what I'm so curious about.
The things that make me happy.
Well,
The
you hearing it?
I think you're saying you want to be comfortable and do the things that make you happy, but I'm not seeing how those things are pushing you forward towards your future.
Why aren't they?
Well, here's the thing that'll happen.
Yeah.
And is that we confuse happiness with comfort.
Mm-hmm.
With comfort?
With comfort.
Yes. That makes total sense.
I just want to be happy. What you're saying maybe is actually, I just want to be comfortable and not face my fear.
Facing the fear.
Yeah, really. And it's human.
And vulnerability is a big one for me. I have a very hard time doing it. And I think when I try to do it, it comes off wrong.
Well, you're laughing. I don't know whether to agree with you or
Because
not.
I don't know if people take me the right way. And I try. But I just want to be me. And I'm never going to be someone I'm not.
Yeah.
To please someone else or get ahead or do anything like that. I'm always going to be me. And yes, being vulnerable is a tough one for me.
So
And speaking
one
my
that's like
mind,
uncomfortable is being really
yes,
vulnerable.
and expressing my emotions is a big one. And something I've learned, my entire family is like that. And I think what just happened in my family is a consequence of not speaking.
So there's
or
some
your
big costs to it.
emotions.
How else is it? What are the other costs to you? It sounds like there's an idea of like my fear of vulnerability is getting in my way.
Yes, that people or that I'm never going to get what I want, if I'm not vulnerable. Mm-hmm. But I've definitely been vulnerable and it's hurt me. So I'm just scared of that again.
Oh, so some of what's in the way
Of
is
course.
what happened.
Yeah.
And fear
always.
that could happen again.
Always.
Yeah.
And that's what I need to get past. Like I
Gotcha.
said before, it's like what's in my past I don't want to go back to. But
Okay, so we've got stuck in the day-to-day, staying in my comfort zone, including not getting vulnerable, and a bunch of stuff from the past that's kind of holding a lot of energy for me
yeah.
that I'm afraid of recreating. Anything else in your way?
It's a big one. Those are big ones.
Which one do you want to get out of the way now?
Maybe it's a tough one. Vulnerable or past stuff?
You choose.
Oh, come on. Tell me which one to choose, please, man.
I feel like deja vu right now.
Why? People want you to tell them what they
Yeah.
need to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me introduce a perspective for you that may be helpful here.
Shoot.
I think that you have the gift of gut intuition.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I absolutely do.
So how about you use your intuition here? What would you like to get out of the way?
Vulnerability.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And how would you like it to be?
I guess I just want to know that I'm going to be okay. You know? That all is love and all is really well. And that it will always be.
And how is that related to vulnerability for you?
Because, how do I say this without being like, trying? I've had to take care of myself for a very long time. So, thinking that I'm the only one that can make me feel comfortable because I'm the only one looking out for myself. So it's almost like I know I was raised well and I'm proud to say that I can take care of myself. But when you think that I was never allowed to speak my mind, be vulnerable, or be that person, I wasn't raised that way. So I had to find that myself.
Yeah.
And I did. So I always second guess it.
What do you mean second guess?
That I don't know how to do it.
Oh.
Because
so you try
I wasn't
it,
taught.
And then you're worried that you did it wrong.
Yeah. Because I was always told to, or at least I was always never shown, I was never guided, I guess. And, going through childhood, teenage, adult, and always trying to figure out things on your own.
Yeah.
And I think that's what has caused certain things in my life, of course, but what has just happened to someone very close to me, I know that's a part of it too. So he never allowed himself to be vulnerable.
Gotcha. So you see really clearly the cost of it.
I do.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And it's really bad. And at least, so it's knowing that I have to take care of myself, and I always have. So when you look out for yourself and no one else is gonna be, it's okay taking your hand and being it's okay, you automatically go into this safety zone. I need to be safe. I can't do that. Because no one's there to catch me. To be scared or vulnerable or have someone look at you the way you don't want them to look at you. But it's not your intention. You're just trying to be a good person.
Yeah.
And I know I'm safe. I know I'm okay, right? And that's what I'm trying to tell myself every day.
I see. So there's something about openly expressing yourself, your needs,
because I
that
just
feels scary.
Yeah.
And unprotected.
Unprotected.
Gotcha. And it also sounds like that you practice vulnerability in a way that your family maybe hasn't. But because you didn't see a model for it, you're always second guessing whether you should or shouldn't have shared whatever you've shared.
Yes.
And also maybe there's some stories that sometimes you shared things that you shouldn't have shared. You made a big mistake and you really messed things up.
Yes.
Gotcha. And that's where the past starts to come in.
Yes.
So how would you like it to be?
I just want, you said I have intuition, and I do. I feel it strongly. I do. And so I just want to be okay with that. I knowing that the decisions I make, the things that I say, the things that I do, I've thought through, because I've learned now to do that. I've grown up, and because I've taken care of myself and I'm guiding my own life, those decisions and those things that I say are okay. And it's almost like someone is watching me and taking care of me and guiding me in a higher sense, especially now. I believe in that. And, so I'm much better than I was probably when you first met me, Matt, for sure.
So what I hear is that you're aware of like your intuition and the strength of that intuition.
Yes.
And that how you would like it to be is that you would trust that more.
Yes.
Just trust it.
Just trust it.
Yeah. Instead of like the second guessing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, how does that trust relate to this breakthrough in vulnerability that you want? That
if I'm vulnerable, it's because I'm supposed to be at that moment. Because that'll get me to move forward or get me what I want. And if in a sense I know my intuition tells me this is your moment, you have to be vulnerable, then I just got to do it. Yeah.
Cool. So some of it is trusting just in that moment. Something urges me to say something, and I trust that thing.
Yes.
Okay. And what else? Well, let me just say what I'm seeing.
Yeah, of course.
Which is what could happen is, based on how it maybe has gone before, is that you have a sense, oh, I'm just going to say this thing because something in my gut says to share it, right?
Yep.
And then things don't go the way that you expected.
Yep.
And then you recreate the story. I shouldn't have done that.
Yep.
I did it wrong.
Yep.
Because you have a story about how things should go.
But you're saying I shouldn't.
Well, it's up to you. I just think it's a predictable pattern.
Yeah.
I'm vulnerable. Oh, crap. They backed off. Or they reacted in this way that I didn't want them to. The thing that makes vulnerability scary is we're letting go of control. Right? Just sharing ourselves openly, we don't know how they'll respond. Most of our communication is designed to control other people's response. And the nature of vulnerability is we're letting go of that control. Right?
Yeah.
And so what occurs to me, I'm just going to throw this out there, is that the opportunity is for you to trust the outcome too. Trust the gut, and then trust that whatever flows from there is okay.
Yeah.
Because who knows, right? There's some stories that like, oh, I did these things and it went bad. We don't actually know.
Right. We don't know that that was bad. That might have worked out exactly how it was supposed to.
Right. That makes a lot of sense.
Well, I'm just kind of speaking. What are you getting from this for you?
Just reassurance of kind of what I tell myself, that is the way it was supposed to be. And you're right. I lost that control of the communication, I guess, the way I want it to be. You know, I think, especially because as an educator too, you're telling them something and you want them to get it when they don't. You know, I'm always feeling like, oh, I should have done it a different way, you know. So
if I had explained it this way.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I wake up in the middle of the night like I should not have said that to my student.
So, Flora, what would have you stop second guessing your life?
Trusting my gut, my intuition. Yeah. Just trusting it.
What does that look like?
What does that look like? That's a hard question. Me saying things when I feel I need to say them. Me opening my heart and my soul and being who I am to get what I want, because and I always do it out of love and care. I never do it to be manipulative or, I want to just keep being me and trust that that's what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
And if I'm forward with something, it's because that's how you get somewhere. It's how you, right? If you go to school to learn, choosing. You go, right. You choose to go to school to learn, to go get a job that you want.
Yeah.
Same thing with everything else in life,
And to drill, to get even more specific, with a vision in mind, career and family, like what would trusting your gut look like this week to take you towards those?
Maybe just to keep talking, and maybe just to keep seeking the things I want.
What do you mean talking? It's just like really vague. Like what would be a measurable thing that you would do from your gut?
Either telling people what I feel, and then career, I guess.
Wait, still real vague. Who?
Someone that I...
Is there someone is what I'm asking? Is there someone you have in mind that you're like, my gut's telling me to?
Have this conversation or tell them these things?
Yes and no. I'm trying to figure that out.
Well, what's trying to figure it out?
My gut?
I don't think so. I'm just going to flat out disagree. Because here's the thing. We
Matt.
never know from our gut. I don't think. Sometimes we have a really strong sense, but we never know what the gut never says, hey, if you do this, right, X and Y and Z will follow.
Right.
It just doesn't.
No.
For me, it just is like a nudge or a pull in a direction if I just trust it. And it's just like, I don't know why I'm doing this. I just feel to do it,
So you're saying that's good that I do that if I'm feeling that
Well,
nudge or
I don't know
pull.
what's good for you. I don't. That's my experience of gut.
But if I feel good about it, do I have to feel good about it, or do I just have to do it because my gut's telling me?
What does your gut tell you?
That I want to feel good doing it. But what if I don't feel good about doing it and I'm supposed to do it?
Well, you're getting lost in a conversation up here, right? Which is fine. It's totally okay. About getting it right and doing it the right way.
I have to forget
and
that.
How do I know? I don't know. But it seems like that could get in your way all over the place.
Yeah.
How do I follow my gut correctly? I don't know. I ask myself that question all the time, so I'm not judging the question.
I know you're not. It's hard when you're on the spot thinking, gosh, this is what I've been doing. This is what I need to do.
Yeah. Well, if you just actually let go of the thinking.
Right. Thinking thoughts. Oh my goodness.
Even like right now, what does your gut tell you to do this week that would allow you to create the life of your dreams?
Tell that person.
Okay, cool. By when?
Apparently this week.
You get to decide.
I get to decide
when you want to tell them. What
does
your gut say?
Can I say months from now?
What does your gut say?
My gut is telling me now.
Okay. What does now mean?
Tomorrow?
Does it?
No.
I don't know. Listen. The practice, I think,
sometime
is
soon.
Going with
Can
your
I
gut.
say sometime soon?
Well, yeah.
What
it's
do
real
I have to
squirrely. Here's what's
say?
going to happen. Here's what's predictable. What is predictable? You tell me. I
What's
think I know what's going to happen.
What's going to happen? That I'm not going to do
yes.
that? Matt.
Well, listen. You're a courageous, bold person. It's not.
Yes,
trust.
I am.
Listen. I'm asking you what's predictable.
Predictable. I think I'm going to go around it.
Yeah.
I'm always going to go.
I'm going to kind of.
Yeah.
Why? I'll tell you. And
Tell
I may be
me.
wrong. Here's why. It goes back to what we were saying before.
Yeah.
Because it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's
I
why.
just want to be comfortable.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So do you want the life of your dreams?
Or do I want to be comfortable?
Yes.
Right.
Oh,
For
great.
most of us, that's the choice.
Yeah.
Because the things we want, if they were comfortable, we'd already have them.
Yeah.
There's a reason we don't have them yet. Because it's uncomfortable to go out and get them. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. But for most of us, that's the choice.
I hope everyone gets to see your face right now. What you just, that passion you just had.
I know.
That's why I love you so much.
Thanks. So what we're looking at is, it seems like from your gut and intuition and trust, there's a conversation you want to have.
Mm-hmm.
What might be predictable is that that part of you that's just yearning for comfort keeps you from it. It's totally human.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're looking at is, what do we need to put in place to overcome your resistance to having that conversation? What structure do you put into place so that you actually
Do
say
it?
the thing you want to say?
I think just the confidence and not worrying about what the outcome is going to be, and know that the outcome is going to be the way it's supposed to be.
The trust.
And that, and that's
Yeah.
it. And but because that's how life, I think, has been going, and that's how it is. And I say that to everyone else, you know, it's hard to say it to myself. Like, that's just the way it was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But then you wonder about the bad things, and you're like, that was the way it was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
My brother passing away, that was supposed to be. Like, that sucks. So you see why I question.
Totally. And we all have that.
Yep.
Totally. And one way to look at it is, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
We just choose what world we want to live in.
I want to live in a peaceful, loving world, and with people I care about, and that everyone is happy. Just be happy.
Cool.
And speak your mind, please, everyone.
Cool. And
Talk.
and like we talked about, consider that happiness is not comfort,
Yeah.
right? It might be uncomfortable. And that's not the same as happiness. You know?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, anything that seems uncomfortable will go, no.
Yeah.
Right,
This
we
doesn't make
confuse
me
the two.
happy.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Flora. So what do you want to declare about this conversation?
I want to declare that I'm going to trust my instinct and be comfortable with the uncomfortable.
Okay.
Go out and get what I want
Mm-hmm.
by being vulnerable,
Okay.
and still knowing that all is well, all is love, I'm okay, and I'm safe.
Yeah. And by when will you have that conversation?
Oh, goodness, you keep asking me that.
Yep.
If he didn't, I was going to. So
Do I have to set a date? Is this like a date that I have to tell you the date? What do I have to tell you?
Well, here's what we're doing. As long as you haven't said what you'll do, you haven't created it. Like, consider that a step of creation is declaring that it will be created. So we're inviting you to live into a future where you have the conversation you want. It's up to you whether or not you want to declare it, right? But
I declare it.
By when? I will blank by blank. What is it?
I will have a conversation
With that person.
with that person
Mm-hmm.
in the next few weeks.
Is that what your gut's telling you?
Yeah.
Sometime in the next few weeks?
Sometime soon. Sometime in the next 30 days. Well, I just don't know. Tomorrow? I mean,
What does your gut say?
my gut is telling me I know when it's going to be right. I will know when that moment is. But I know what it is. It's not the answer you wanted to hear, man. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, listen, you may be spot on. I don't need to be right about this. I really don't. It's just if you look at what's predictable and the way you've resisted having a vulnerable conversation,
Yes.
the chances are that your survival mechanism that wants you to feel comfort and not take any risks will never let you feel good about saying it.
Yeah.
Unless you get really centered and come from your gut, but it's going to resist that like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And so if your gut's telling you you need to have a conversation with this person, my invitation is to not wait until it feels comfortable. It probably will never happen.
Yeah.
It's just
So when do I do it?
when you choose. And I'm just inviting you to make the choice now, when you're present with people and you're coming from your heart and your gut. And you get to choose when that is. And it may be just, I'll do it when I feel to do it. You really get to choose. I'm not saying there's a right way to do this. My experience is that the things we really want, we tend to resist.
Yeah.
And
Right.
saying out loud, I will do this by this date, and then being true to our word gives us access to power. But it's up to you. You want to declare something?
I guess the date is throwing me off, you know, because of circumstances in life that the way I want to do it, I know in my head what it looks like. I don't really need to explain it, right? But so that's throwing me off. But the idea that it keeps coming up that I need to do it.
Yeah.
I typically do what I set my heart out to do.
Gotcha.
I know that about myself.
Yeah. So do you just want to say, we're not going for the exact date you'll do it. We're going for a by when. And it sounds like
By
you have
like a date though you want.
Oh,
like
yeah.
a June 1st.
a declaration,
Okay.
like creating your future. It sounds like there's a set of circumstances in which you want to have the conversation.
Right.
And then you get to avoid it. As long as that circumstance hasn't been created, it's another way for your comfortableness to get squirrely and keep you
How
away
about
from
by
it.
Something that's coming up for me that I think is just really interesting because I do it all the time is just the resistance is amazing because I resist things I don't want to do all the time. But then B, we just have this huge...
Wait, let's just clarify. It's things you want to do that you don't want to
Right.
do. Right.
Right.
That you
Things
want
that
to
are
and
important to
don't
me.
want to do.
But
Things
what
that are
if I
important to
say a
me,
date
but
and then I
like-
can't do it by that date?
What do you mean you can't do it? Who are you?
So this is what
You're light and power and creation,
Yeah.
and you could create anything you wanted.
Yes. And this whole conversation we've been having about control and things didn't turn out the way that I saw them or expected them to. That conversation, right? That I had, and I was vulnerable, and they didn't react the way I wanted them to, or I expected them to. And so now what I'm really present to is wanting to create the circumstances and the situation to have this conversation, which is really maybe, I don't know, maybe just a way to control this, try and control the outcome.
I'm trying to control, but at the same time, I want to, like you just said, I want to create. I don't want to think too much about. See, that's hard because I am going against what we're talking about. I don't, because I'm trying to be comfortable.
Well, the thing here for you is probably just what you declared earlier is that I'm going to practice trusting my intuition.
Yes.
And what's going to happen is that you're going to second guess because that's what you've distinguished happens.
I want to do it and it's going to happen.
Cool.
I do.
Yeah.
I think you're right. This whole date thing is throwing me off.
Yeah.
Because of what I'm thinking. I get that that's wrong.
Yeah.
It's wrong.
Or
No, it's really not. What we're just looking at is creating a structure where you're supported
Right.
and fulfilling on what you really want.
right.
And for a lot of people, so for example, I'll just throw this out because I think it's a
But
really
is it because I'm not a structured person?
Well, no, there's nothing truly. It's just what gives you power. So we're looking in a place that people resist, but can be a source of power for a lot of people. So, for example, a few years ago, I was working in a job that I didn't like, or I liked it, but I knew it wasn't aligned with my future. You know, and so finally, I was invited to declare by when I would leave the job, and it scared the crap out of me to even say it. But I was just like, okay, by a month from now, I'll have left my job. And I was scared to death of doing it. But it was like, okay, well, if you're going to leave it by a month, when you got to put your notice? Well, then that would have to be next week. Right?
So you're doing the things to
get myself.
I get it.
I'm scared of it.
Okay.
I don't want to do it. I'm declaring it to give myself access to power to actually fulfilling on it.
Okay, can I say 2 months from now?
You can say whatever you want.
It will be done.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if your gut's telling you to do it
Sooner, then do it sooner.
Okay.
Cool. So we hold you accountable to it?
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
What conversation with a person from vulnerability? You have an idea of what you're going to share?
Yes. Do I have to share it with you?
No, it's up to you.
Okay.
And by June 28th?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Thank you.
Awesome. So I think we're in a good place to wrap up. How are you feeling? Yeah. About that?
It's great.
Okay.
Thank you.
So what would you say was the most valuable part of the conversation
I think
for you?
When me talking and you guys just saying what you're hearing, and then you're giving me solid feedback and saying, this is what you need to, it's, even though I'm not comfortable with that, or even though I can't give you the answer, it's comforting to know that there is a thing that I have to do and can do to make myself move forward. Does that make sense? So that to me is valuable because the guidance, it's a big one for me.
Yeah, and what I'm curious about is like a month from now, what from this conversation do you want future you to remember? Listeners, by the way, you could be asking yourself the same thing.
Oh, yeah, of course. The trusting that I'm doing all the things to get me to that place that I said I was going to do, and to that thing I'm going to do in 2 months. The knowing that I'm taking those steps towards it, whether they be small or big or whatever the case may be, that it's going to come and that everything is going to be okay. The outcome is going to be what it's supposed to be. And I'm not going to think about how I want that to be, except what my goal is, the bigger goal. So
family.
Career. Yes. So it's always thinking about that, knowing that whatever comes in between is the way it's supposed to get me there, because that's what I'm getting. And in a month, that's what I want I want my future self to know that.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Acknowledge. Yeah. So I just want to thank you for spontaneously popping by and doing this. It's amazing. And I want to recognize just the light that you bring into the room, and the power and the just confidence and knowledge and just your whole, power is what comes to my mind after having talked to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking, to me, Flora, you're like those little, there's movies where there's glowy bubbles in the forest. You know what I mean? They're these lighty, floaty things.
That's me?
You're just this floating light,
Aw.
Yeah. Love
Thank you.
Yeah. So, because of your floaty lightness and your power, and your wisdom, we would love for you to share with our audience something that you have found in your life has have a lot of meaning. If you were to look back and tell your younger self or somebody, what would you tell them?
Wow, that's a big one, and something very dear to my heart, because that's probably why I do teach and educate, because I would tell everyone to just you can guide yourself and trust yourself and be okay. But the biggest thing is to speak and to talk, and no matter to who, just talk, because emotions are big. And if you don't talk about what you want or how you're feeling, things cannot make you feel good. And that's the biggest thing I've learned in the past few months, especially, and over the years, is even if you were raised to not have a voice, you have a voice. Every single person has one, and it's beautiful, and you have a right to speak.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thanks. Everyone, Flora is in the education in apparel. Like, she's an educator in the retail apparel industry.
Yeah.
So if you know of anything out there, Flora's your woman. Okay.
Read my blog, teachfabulousthings.com.
I was going to say, where can people...
Teachfabulousthings.com?
Teach fabulous things, because everyone deserves to teach something fabulous, because they have something fabulous.
Cool.
To
so
teach.
That's where people can connect with you?
Yes. There, and
else?
then you could find my social channels on it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. Matt, where can people connect with you?
Instagram, Maddie Maxwell, Matty Maxwell, or my website's about to launch. This is hearthstone.com.
Whoop, whoop.
Yep.
You can find both of us at cultivatingcouragepodcast.com. You can follow me on Instagram at RobinsonKristin, KRISTIN, or thrivecoachingstudio.com. That's another episode of Cultivating Courage. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, everybody.